Hello, my name is Joe Jocelyn. You can call me JJ for short. See this bump on my head? In case you were wondering about it, I actually just hit it yesterday, so don't worry about it. You see it? Anyways. Okay, I have one story that I've been thinking about. I'm thinking that you all might like it. It's a little bit embarrassing, yet somehow romantic, or something along those lines, I don't really know. My story takes place back when I was in middle school, somewhere around 7th, 8th grade. I went to a mainstream school, so that means I was followed by an interpreter all day long, and I was the only deaf person at my school. I fell in love with one cute girl for 3 years. Her name was Maggie. I will never forget that name. Maggie, Maggie, Maggie. Because she was hearing and I was deaf, our communication was very limited. If we ever did talk, we waved to each other in the halls, and that's about it. I remember one class in 6th grade I noticed Maggie really staring at me. Was that because she liked me? No. It was because my interpreter and I were signing. I like to think of our love as something along the lines of a puppy love. I remember one class we had together. It was a health class, and we had a project in which we had to take care of a baby egg for a week. Have any of you ever experienced something like that? You do? Okay. Good, I'm not alone. So for this project, we all had to be partnered up. It was appropriate that men and women were partnered up together. Who was my partner? Maggie. I was very excited. My interpreter helped us to name the egg. We had a hard-boiled egg. My interpreter helped us to communicate and decide on which days who got the egg. In my mind, I was already a proud father, married and in love with her. I was very excited. It seemed a little weird to me, though, that I was excited as a man. It should be the woman who was excited. Anyways, when I had the egg, I remember opening the fridge at some point, leaning over. Once I looked down, I noticed my egg smashed all over the floor. My world was finished. All I could think about was Maggie wanting to divorce me. I picked up the egg off the floor and it had a crack all alongside it. I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed a Band-Aid and wrapped it around the egg, trying to save it. I started crying. Yes, I started crying. I was emotional. What can I say? I was 13, 14. I really did not know what to do. And what was worse? It was Maggie. I had to tell Maggie, my crush. When my mom came home, I freaked out and she tried to calm me down. We ended up calling the interpreter. Can you imagine calling the interpreter? My interpreter told me to be patient until Monday, and that we would explain it to Maggie. I tried to accept it. For the whole weekend I was freaking out. It was the worst weekend of my life. Well, at least that was my perspective at the time. After Saturday and Sunday of spending my whole time freaking out, on Monday I showed up to class. We had the same morning class. It was a cooking class. But we didn't cook the egg, don't worry. I asked my interpreter if she could call Maggie over, or if they could call Maggie over, to help me explain what happened. I'd already planned out everything I was going to say, but when I went to explain it to her, I ended up just saying, "Oh, I messed up and the egg fell on the floor." Maggie ended up just saying, "Oh, we can go and tell the teacher after class. I'm sure everything will be okay." So it turns out I was freaking out all over the weekend for nothing. We went and talked to the teacher, and the teacher said we can just do the project all over again, and it was fine. So my whole point of the story, I was really relieved at the time. So the whole point of the story is that not to cry over spilt milk. Well, I mean an egg. That's my story.